Hi everyone, I'm Mark Walmsley. I'm the founder of the Arts and Culture Network, and this is the best bit of the job for me. This is where I get to introduce you to one of our full members, and it's particular pleasure because we've done this before, Tricia and I. We're good friends, we go back away, and Tricia's had something of an ACN sabbatical because all of her classes when she was doing her master's in songwriting were on a Thursday, which meant she couldn't come to our events. But she's back, and here she is in the flesh. Tricia, thank you so much for being one of our full members and for joining me today. We're going to have some fun today. Where are you based? Let's give everybody some context.
I am based in Chiswick in West London, where it is sunny today.
But cold.
It is a little bit chilly, but it is a beautiful day. It's stunning,
Yes.
actually.
And your alter ego is Little Law.
It is, yes. That's my musical alter ego. I'm a songwriter and an Americana artist. Yeah.
And as I was telling you earlier, you keep popping out of my Alexa. Because you're on my Spotify playlist, and every now and again, oh, there's Tricia.
Well, you're a fan of country and Americana music, aren't you? So we are a good fit from that perspective.
We are, yes. I was introduced to country on an aeroplane many years ago when I heard "There's Your Trouble" by the Dixie Chicks, and then that just started fascination. So yes,
They're called the Chicks now. They've had a rebrand.
they have. Yes, they're called the Chicks. My favorite is the comedy country and western songs.
Are you going to do one of your famous jokes now?
I am, yeah. She stole my watch and now she's living on borrowed time. Was one. If I'd shot you sooner, I'd have been out of jail by now is a particular favorite. And she put the hell in hello and the good in goodbye, which I thought was brilliant. 3 chords and a broken heart and you're off.
There you go. I actually written a song this week, which is an all-time low for me, that only has 2 chords in it.
Oh, wow.
I'm not the first person to do that. There's a lot of pop songs that only have 2 chords. But...
Yeah, I think probably Status Quo is in that list.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. Okay, so tell us more about what you've been doing songwriting. I know you've earned a distinction for your masters.
I don't normally tell many people that, but I did. Yes, it is true.
I can say it.
You can say it. Normally you can't say it about yourself, but I did get a distinction in my masters.
Yeah. And the songs are great, and I'm getting to learn the lyrics now because it keeps coming out of the Alexa so much. So I love it. I think they're great. And are you live gigging still?
I am. My next gig is in November at Green Note. I'm playing Green Note on the 6th of November. I've not been doing so much live because I've been so focused on writing. Because I'm now writing for TV and film, and I'm writing with other artists as well. But I suppose the main headlines of my music story and my masters and all the changes I've been through in the time that you and I have known each other, because when we first met, I was pretty much dedicated to my consulting career. I run a consulting business, which I still do and enjoy. And my music was a side hustle, which you did help me with my branding, but I very much saw as it's something that was alongside. But when I turned 50, I had a bit of an epiphany and just decided that actually the music was giving me a lot more joy in my life than my day job was. And it was in the pandemic, to be fair. So all of the good stuff that used to be in my day job, like getting out with a whiteboard and a flat-edged pen, had disappeared. And I wasn't encountering so many people, but I got a lot of kind of personal satisfaction and succor from songwriting. And so I just decided in a mad moment to see whether I could take my songwriting a lot more seriously and stop being so shy about it. Oh, it's just something I do on the side. Even when I met you and we went through the brands for Little Law for my songwriting project, I was still sort of excusing it a little bit. Oh, I'll still do my day job. I'll just do this on the side. And I just decided I wasn't prepared to do that anymore. I can't tell you why. I think these things just happen in your back brain and then they come out somehow. And that's really kind of informed my life now, because I am not only really passionate about being a songwriter, but I'm also really passionate about inspiring other people, particularly women over 40, to do the same thing. It isn't too late. You can still do it. You are creative, and try and dispel some of these sort of social narratives that we hold on to, particularly our generation, Gen X. You know, our parents probably quite rightly prioritized keeping the lights on and food on the table because they were wartime kids, or post-war kids, and so all of those inform our upbringings for very good reasons. But you know, you are a good feminist despite the fact that you decided you didn't want to do a job in business anymore. You are a creative person, you always have been, and in 10 years time you could retrain, you could learn something completely different, and you could master it if you choose.
Yes. And that's what it's called, isn't it?
That's the other project. So Little Law is my music project, and then my other project is called In 10 Years Time, How to Live a Creative Life, and it's a podcast and a lot of free resources as well, and it's designed to encourage and empower everybody to live with a creative balance that's right for them. So it may be that they just want to introduce their hobby, perhaps take a dance class or something, or it might be go the whole way as I'm going and everything in between. It's not for me to decide what the balance is for them. But
That
yeah,
it's great. And I should point out, Little Law is Lore if you're going to
yes,
for it. And in 10 years time, wherever this appears, there'll be links to more on that. It's interesting, in your absence, I think, on our ACN journey, we had one session where 3 members were there, girls. One was about to make the leap of faith. One had made the leap of faith 2 months ago, and one had made the leap of faith 16 years ago.
yeah.
And they'd all gone from corporate world to creative world, and or were planning to. And it was fascinating watching them share the tips and tricks, you know, or things that they'd learned, things they were worried about. It's also, my late mother was also terribly supportive with me in things like this, and she was from that kind of wartime generation, really, children during the war. So she reminded me that if you live in the UK, you're probably already in the top 5%, you know, in terms of your physical and mental well-being and financial stability. And so, you know, we have networks and family structures and friends around us that mean the vast majority of us, and this is obviously a generalization, the vast majority of us would never fail so badly that they couldn't eat or clothe themselves or find shelter. There'd be somebody there to help. We're very lucky in that respect. So it does take that fear away from it. And somebody once said to me, "What would you do if you weren't afraid?" You know, if you took the fear away, which, by the way, doesn't exist, it's an emotion.
Yeah.
The practical issues you can probably work out. And it's really encouraging to hear that you're helping people in those circumstances, because, you know, who was the artist who painted that beautiful wave? Japanese artist. You probably have it in your head. There's a beautiful wave picture by a Japanese artist. It took him 70 years to get it right, or was happy with it, and now it's world famous. Colonel Saunders sold his first recipe in his 70s. So it really is never too late. And
Well, actually, on the radio this morning, they were saying that Dr. Seuss wrote his first book when he was 33, or his first book published when he was 33, and it sold 30,000 copies, not really very many at all. And then when he was 50, he wrote and published The Cat in the Hat, which sold squillions of copies. It was really, I mean, he worked in advertising as well, funnily enough.
interesting.
And it just shows, I mean, he's another really good example of the power of limitation as well, because The Cat in the Hat famously only has 236 different words in it.
Brilliant. And some of those
like,
are my favorite. One of my favorite sayings is from that. It's go have no fun somewhere else.
exactly.
That might have been the movie, but
Yeah.
that was one of the characters' sayings. It was
Yeah.
brilliant. Right, we need to crack on, because
Okay.
I want to have some fun with our journey. Now, you have to suspend disbelief now.
Okay.
And I'm going to take you on an utterly magical, culturally driven year. Okay.
Wonderful.
Now, because you've so enjoyed re-immersing yourself in academia,
Yes.
it's going to be a research trip.
Okay. Excellent.
Now, I'll tell you a little bit more about it in a moment, but I've got to place you somewhere in the world. So what's your favorite building?
Hmm. Oh, I like the one I'm in. My house is so lovely.
If it wasn't in your house,
Yeah.
where might it be? What might it be? It doesn't need to be a building you've been to. It could be one that you've admired from afar. So
I mean, I'm a very big fan of the Empire State Building. I think it's quite beautiful.
yeah, I'll put you there. Right.
So thank you.
You're in the sunshine. It's June. It's 6 p.m. You're sitting at a pavement cafe looking up at the beautiful edifice that is the Empire State Building. Okay. There is a book to your right. Now, it could be a favorite book. It could be a book that's been with you all your life, saved your life, or it could be a recent discovery. What book would I find next to you in that cafe?
The Celestine Prophecy.
Ooh, who's that by?
I don't know who it's by. It's on my shelf there somewhere. But it is the story of basically the moral of the story is every single person you meet has a message for you. All you've got to
Nice.
do. It's perfect book for you actually, Mark, because you're a
I
professional.
think I'm going to have to grab that on Audible. It's by James Redfield.
It is by James River, and it is the biggest selling self-published book, I believe, of all time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that would,
It's a simple story. Yeah.
yeah,
It has a message, and it basically has been with me for a long time as a reminder of every single person you encounter. Either you've got a message for them or they've got a message for you, probably.
I like that. There's
Yeah.
another lovely one that's similar. The five people you meet in heaven.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, by Mitch Albom. That I
Yeah.
enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now on the left is a drink. It's 6 p.m. The sun's shining. You're looking up at the glittering Empire State Building. What's the tipple?
Maybe some sort of um, elderflower cordially type thing. I only say that because I'm not currently drinking, and I
Okay.
didn't want to quickly go back to drinking just because it's June. So yeah, some sort of elderflower presse or something
Lovely.
like that.
Excellent. There you are. So we've set our scene. New York, Empire State Building, sunny June, 6 p.m. The book, The Celestine Prophecy and Elderflower Cordial. There we go. That's a nice place to start. Now, in my fantasy cultural world, you've just come from a meeting inside the Empire State Building in which a wealthy New York family foundation have confirmed that they're going to fund you for a year of study. Okay. Everything else is organized. All your personal admin, family commitments, everything's sorted. Your family can come and visit you wherever you are, and friends can as well. They've got wind of your songwriting expertise, and they want you to do a year of research in songwriting, okay, to try and ideally pull in some of the other things that you're interested in is senior songwriting. um, and you know, what influence does other societal factors have on what areas seem to be hotbeds of great songwriting? So that's what they'd like you to do. Now it's first class, it's highly paid, okay, first class all the way. A beautiful apartment when you get there, or a house by a lake, wherever you choose to be. You're going to get a book deal out of it, and you're going to get a TV series out of it, and a lecture tour and a TED talk. Okay.
Funnily enough, I'm applying for a TED talk today.
Are you?
Yes, I am.
I would be very envious if you do. I'd love to do one.
Well, I mean, they can only say no, can't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, good luck with that.
Thank you.
So that's your assignment. All you need to do is to tell them which country you'd like to go to and start in.
Right. Well, my instinct when you said lake was that I should probably go to a lake somewhere. I mean, you know, I love Nashville and I love Americana and all of that, but at the same time, I think I could probably do some pretty decent work sitting quite quietly by myself with a beautiful view of a lake. So maybe I will go to Italy, to one of those famous pretty lakes.
Okay. I'll need you to be in a slightly urban area for some of this. So
Right. Okay.
So, but yeah, Italy, whereabouts in Italy would
I don't know,
be?
do you know what any of the lakes are? The famous lakes that people go to in Italy,
Yeah,
don't you?
Lake Como,
Lake Como. Let's go there. That sounds like nice, doesn't it?
Maggiore.
I've never been, but I've heard it's really posh and lovely.
Yeah. Well, we've got a picture of Lake Como next to our hot tub. How middle class is that?
That's fantastic. I approve entirely. So you sort of like sit in the warm, bubbly water and look at the lake and pretend that that's
It's actually a shower curtain, and nobody would use that as a shower curtain because it's not, But Joe and I pinned it up in a frame, so that's actually huge. Picture
But the
of.
funny thing is you're looking over there, but because you've got the virtual background, it looks like you're just
Yes.
looking through one of your paintings.
So yes, that's there, and it was £12 on Amazon, which is brilliant. So
Okay, well, I'll go to Lake Como, to a city or a town.
okay,
near-
let me find you somewhere.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it.
We're going to have a town. Oh, Bellagio looks nice.
Is it?
Yeah, Bellagio. Let's have a look. I'll show you where you're living.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate it.
It's a commune, apparently.
Oh, good.
But-
That sounds like it's right on my street, to be honest.
Oh, look at that place. Hang on. Right. There we go. So this
yeah,
is
that looks
Bellagio.
fantastic.
Yeah, this is Bellagio on Lake Como. There's you.
Oh, there's me sitting on the lake with my notebook, thinking
Yeah.
my thinks. Yeah.
I could.
Oh, that looks fantastic. Yes, I'll
Doesn't
definitely get there.
Okay. I've never heard of it. I feel the need to go.
You can go there for £32 in an hour and 50 minutes, it says there.
Oh yes, look at that. Whoa, look at that. Okay, that might be a weekend away.
And it's got the Tower of the Arts, a venue for exhibitions and performances. So there you are. Look at that.
Yeah, fantastic.
This is what I mean when the Celestine prophecy would say that that might be information that you needed to give me today, and that I needed to know that because I'm going to go there in my future.
Yeah,
That's the Celestine
it
prophecy.
looks lovely. Right, so you're on the plane. Okay,
Yes.
you turned left on the plane because
Yeah.
you're flying first class.
Right.
The steward comes to you and gives you a glass of elderflower cordial and also a note from the Family Foundation in New York, who have a bit of a twist in the tail.
Right.
They want to study you a little bit while you're doing this for them, and they've asked you to limit your musical listening to one very specific genre of music for 12 months to the exclusion of all else.
Right.
What would you pick?
Probably folk music.
Folk music. Anyone in particular?
Well, I'm very interested in looking back to the sort of American folk musicians of the sort of 60s and 70s, the sort of Joan Baez type environment. So that does really influence today's Americana scene. And so actually it would be quite a pleasure for me to be able to dip back into some of those kind of songs for a very deep period of time, just to see what I could, nibble away at.
Okay.
I mean, folk music is quite broad, isn't it? So I have given myself, because I could go to English folk and, storytelling and all of those kind of things. But I think that would probably not be a big sufferance for a year.
Okay. That's fine. So folk it is. We'll give you the broader
Thank
sense.
you, appreciate
Right. And now you arrive in Bellagio. You've been met at the airport by a group of young musicians who've decided to take you under their wing. And they whisk you off to one of those lovely houses overlooking Lake Como. And they say, settle in, we're going to take you to a dance performance. And then out to dinner. Now, we've got access to a helicopter and a jet in our world. So if needs be, we can go to Rome. But they want to take you to a dance performance. Now, I've got a cultural magic wand here. I can place on that stage any dance performance you wish. Historical, present day, any dancer, living or not, any dance group, any dance style. What would you like to watch for a couple of hours?
Well, I don't know much about dance actually. It's kind of a bit of a gap in my knowledge, but I suppose something that was that involved very melodic music. So and it would be nice to see something traditional. I don't really feel I need the jet or the helicopter because that would really kind of, I already feel a bit bad about the first class because of my carbon footprint.
Yes.
I would probably have to insist that it was somewhere within driving distance
Okay. Well,
or a train. I don't mind it taking a little longer to get there.
yeah.
Just so that we don't, blow up our entire planet for the sake
So
of it.
are we thinking ballet?
Maybe something more traditional, like, something around this folk idea. Again, I don't know what the name of the dancer would be, but something that's a little bit more like traditional folk dance. Maybe there's an Italian version of that. I tell you what's
Yeah.
interesting is there's something called the Cantastorie, which is Sicilian, which is an opera performance with posters and performance. And I don't know whether that's something that would
Yeah,
incorporate
that
dance.
sounds that sounds great. We'll do let's do that. Okay.
Okay, it
On
might not
our
be strictly a dance.
yes. Now
I'm breaking the rules.
you always have.
Sorry.
Dinner. What
Yeah.
I know we're in Italy, but you don't necessarily have to choose Italian if you don't want to. But we are in Bellagio. So what national cuisine would you like?
I'm happy with some sort of delicious. Oh, I tell you what, I really love is pasta vongole. That's one of my favorite things.
I'm sure they'll do it there.
Yeah, I'm sure they do it there very well.
Mm,
Yeah,
it's 21 degrees there now.
is it?
I've
Yeah,
just seen, yeah, what is it, 5 here or something ridiculous.
yeah.
Um, excellent. Now, the next day in Bellagio is sport day, and
Right.
some people believe that some sports constitute performance art. We
Mm-hmm.
had breakdancing in the Olympics, after all.
You do.
What sport would you like to watch for a couple of hours?
Maybe, well, a couple of hours, probably a tennis match would be quite fun to watch.
Yeah, we just happen to have an exhibition tournament on in Bellagio at the time
Right.
of your visit. So perfect. Now in Bellagio, there is a new digitally enhanced art gallery, and you can put some virtual reality glasses on, and you can step into the paintings of a famous artist, and you'll be in 3 dimensions, 360 degrees, walk around, have a look behind that character, under that thing. Which famous artist's work would you like to step into?
I would like to see Frida Kahlo's work, please.
Oh, yes. Frida Kahlo, one of the best things to come out of Mexico.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Excellent. Now I've flown out to meet you.
Have you? That's nice of
Yes.
you.
We're going to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now,
Right.
the setting is not so important now because I just want to find out where your preferences lie. On Monday, we're going to do a pop or rock concert. Okay. On Tuesday, we're going to the theatre for a play. On Wednesday, we're going to a West End or Broadway musical. And on Thursday, we're going to the opera. And Friday, we're going to the cinema. Okay. Now, this is a fantasy trip, so you can go back in time if you wish to an event or concert that you enjoyed or one you missed. So what pop or rock or country or folk performance are we going to?
There's so many good gigs I've been to. Probably my favourite band to see live is First Aid Kit.
That's a new one on me. First Aid Kit.
They're amazing.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm going to have to look it up. There we go.
oh, I'm so happy for you that you're going to get to listen to First Aid Kit. Put it into your Spotify playlist.
I will. There we go. First Aid Kit.
Yeah,
I've spelled first wrong.
that's quite a simple word usually.
They're a folk duo, are they?
Yeah, they are, but they're quite Americana, sort of slide guitars and all of that kind of thing.
They're Swedish.
They are, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that looks really good. Okay, fantastic. I'm going to have a listen later.
The best time I ever saw them, they were supported by the Staves, and actually I've seen it the other way around as well. I've seen the Staves support First Aid Kit and First Aid Kit support the Staves, both fantastic bands. The Staves and First Aid Kit, that would be a brilliant night of music right there.
We'll have a double header. There we go.
Thank you. And I have to be standing. None of this sitting down for music business. I'm not
Okay.
interested. It's got to be standing.
Okay. We'll go posh mosh.
Exactly. Posh mosh. There you are.
Theatre play.
Well, I have just done a really, really in-depth piece of work into something that I have called method songwriting. And that's what I did my final research into for my master's. And I wrote an entire album from the perspective of one character from one place. I basically got into character and I wrote all the songs from this character's perspective. And the character was Serafina from The Rose Tattoo by Tennessee Williams. So I would really like to see that play, very much indeed. I've never seen it, but I cannot begin to tell you, of all of the plays I could see before I die, that is right up there at the top of the list.
Fantastic. Serafina in
No, it's called The Rose Tattoo is the play.
Rose Tattoo.
Rose Tattoo.
Oh, lovely. I haven't seen it either, so that's a must. What about a Broadway or a West End musical? You can go back in time.
Well, I've seen a lot of Broadway and West End musicals that I've loved, but everyone tells me that I would really love Six, and I haven't seen it, so I would like to see that.
On paper, that shouldn't have worked.
Oh, really?
Well,
have you seen it?
No, I haven't, but I have one of my friend's daughters was one of the first six. And when she told me about it, I thought, I'm not sure if I'd been in that pitch meeting, I'm not sure I'd have gone for this. So it's like a poppy version of history.
Yeah.
You know, but it's worked, you know. So
what I particularly like about it as well is that it's from a female perspective, and it is important. I mean, you probably know better than anybody how disadvantaged women are in the arts generally, you know, and in songwriting, it's absolutely dire. Less than 15% of songs that have any commercial success are written by women, and not even a woman in the room in the co-write. So actually to support a story of the feminine perspective from a history point of view is also something that just really appeals to me. And yeah, it's on my list to go and see. So let's go and see that. It'll be nice to see that with you as well. I think it would be fun.
That would be good, yeah. And yes, we can both sit there and think, yeah, it does work, doesn't it? Or no, it doesn't.
Work. Interesting. We can dissect it afterwards.
Making notes all the way through. Excellent. Are you an opera buff?
Not really, no. I have been to see a few operas. I'm not. So as a singer, whenever I've had singing teachers and singing lessons, they've always told me that I'm a soprano and that I should, you know, if I ever wanted to train classically, I've got all the kit and the pipes in the right place. But I've resisted it quite strongly because I don't really want to sing classical. I want to sing country and Americana and popular music. But I have enjoyed in the past going to see things like Madame Butterfly. I really enjoyed, as sad as it is. I remember seeing La Traviata and thinking that was beautiful as well. But I think, yeah, I'll go and see Madame Butterfly again because it's very beautiful and sad, and you know, it's and melodic, good music as well.
A nice bit of Puccini. There we go. Now for the film one, I'd like you to choose a film that you've seen and loved that you think I may not have done.
Have you seen Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind?
No.
Oh, yes.
I keep meaning to, but I haven't.
It's probably right up there, my favorite films of all time. So good.
I'm going to have to watch that. I tend to work late at night with a movie on, so I might stick that one on there.
It is such a great film. I hope you enjoy it. When you watch it, please text me immediately.
I will do. Excellent. Now we're nearly there with your induction in Bellagio on Lake Como in Italy, and a few train journeys elsewhere for different things. Tomorrow is Hero Day.
Right.
And I've booked a restaurant in Bellagio overlooking the lake. It's beautiful weather for a leisurely 2-hour lunch, and it's just you and any other one person. Okay. Now it could be somebody who's living or not. It could be somebody who's famous or not. But who would you like to have a leisurely 2-hour lunch with?
Can I have lunch with my Auntie Joy?
You can. Yes.
She's not living, but she was my favourite auntie. And she'd be really tough that I brought her back to have lunch with me.
So
She's
there is
really
a
funny, and she'd be very, yeah, she'd just be great. She'd love to hear everything that I've been doing.
excellent. There is a twist to this.
Okay.
You can invite one more person, and that's who your auntie would like to have there.
Or she'd like to have my cousin Joe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep it in the
And
family.
we three would have a lot of fun.
Oh, that's good. I love it. I love it when people keep it in the family.
I mean, it's so tempting to say, "Oh, I'll have lunch with Joni Mitchell," but it would be, you know, when you said it doesn't have to be a famous person, I thought actually, I've been thinking about Joy a lot this week. She's just been on my mind as well,
mm, oh,
random.
there we go.
So it just seemed like a good opportunity.
Fantastic. Excellent. Now you've got the day to yourself. Sun
Okay.
Bellagio. We've seen what it looks like. What are you doing? It's one of those rare days if you don't have a family, you know, if you're in the squeeze generation of demanding parents and demanding children, or you've got huge amounts of work to do, or the place is a tip, or what, all of, you know, just every now and again a day comes along when you know from the moment your head leaves the pillow to when it goes back to the pillow, the whole day is entirely your own. You can do whatever you wish. Now you're in Bellagio and that's the day. What are you doing?
I would have a slow morning because slow mornings are very precious. I would practice my instruments because I really get a lot of joy out of that. I would go for a swim in the lake, if that's allowed. Can you swim in that lake? I presume you can.
Yeah.
I would lay in the sun. I would probably write a bit as well. And I might watch a box set or something trashy. I'll tell it.
Binge on something trashy.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's your day. That's entirely that's a lovely day. They don't come around that often, but I
No, they don't.
do.
Sounds dreamy. I'd definitely have a nap as well, 100% a nap, and not just like a 10-minute nap, but a full sleep cycle, 90-minute nap.
Do you do that? Do you find yourself doing that?
If I could, I would do that every day, but no, I don't do that, but I would if I could.
I
And
do. I
you
do.
either do you?
Yeah.
I either do, I think naps are either 15 minutes or 90 minutes, basically. None of this 1 hour. That's awful. It's got to be full REM or
Yeah.
just a 10-minute quickie.
I have you ever had a nappuccino?
When you have a coffee and then a nap, and yeah,
And it
love
wakes
I love it. It's
Brilliant.
like brilliant.
Double espresso, head down.
Wake
30
up.
minutes.
Yeah,
I'm like a computer. If you reboot me, I can go on for another 12 hours.
yeah,
But sometimes I try and fight through it, and you can because you get second wind or whatever. But I do my best work between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m.
right.
and I can get a whole day's work. I can get 8 hours done in 4.
Yeah.
To the cost of my liver, I think, because I'm probably opening a bottle of rum as well. But yeah, it's funny, isn't it? I mean, all the best people had naps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of science behind it. So I'm actually researching for my podcast why sleeping and napping is a creative act. There you are.
Oh,
It is a
oh,
creative act. And it's fascinating. And without going into too much detail, the main reason why you feel that reboot is because actually what's happening when you sleep is your adrenaline levels are dropping. So the three ways in which you can drop your adrenaline levels are exercise, creativity, and napping. And in REM, when you get into your REM, your deep sleep, that's the only time that your adrenaline drops to 0.
is it really?
Yes, it is.
So you've got
Isn't
to
that
get them,
fascinating?
isn't
Now,
it?
adrenaline is very important. It gets a bad rap because obviously it's our fight and flight, but it's also a neurotransmitter that helps us just make decisions like, getting dressed and normal. You need it. It's important. But obviously, if it gets too high, then you can't create and you can't think because, you can't switch on your imagination network, which is what's happening when you dream. The closest you can get to switching your own imagination network is to get closer to that sleep state, which you can do through exercise, meditative, kind of repetitive things, or you can do it. And in creativity as well, it happens. It's your imagination network kicks in because your executive network, the decision making, dials down. So
I
yes,
love
whole
so.
episode coming on that in my next
Oh,
series. I
I'm
haven't
I'm
recorded yet, but I've done the research.
looking forward to that. Right, your year has come to an end. Okay,
Right.
you're on the way home. The book's in the bag.
Yeah.
Lots of songs have been written, inspired by the people you met because of your book.
Right.
Nice. To accompany the book, the TV series is in the can, ready to be edited. You've been booked to do a TED talk about it, and you've been approached by universities all over the UK to do a lecture tour. And there's money in the bank, which is even better.
Oh,
Did you enjoy your cultural year?
it's fantastic.
Great.
Sounds like the perfect year. I don't know where you go from there.
I know. Everyone says, please start a travel agency so I can do this.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
Now on the way home, two things. The first is the limit to your listening to folk has been lifted. So you, for the first time for 12 years, you can listen to something that's not folk. What might it be?
Probably I'll probably just listen to some commercial pop music, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
See what's been in the charts, see what the trends are, see
Yeah.
what the top 4 record companies are informing us that we should be listening to and enjoying. See whether I agree with it.
And one of our members, Sammy Talbot, I don't know if you've met her. Her alter ego is Vinci, VNCCII, and she's a musician. Sammy Talbot, Tauber. She's one of our full members, and she's just heard that one of her pieces of music is going to the moon on SpaceX, which is great. And so it prompted me to ask people what would they send out. Now you can send your own if you wish, but what single piece of music would you want to send out for some alien to find? That sort of sums us up as a species.
I would send the song that I've released today because because of what I just pointed out to you about, so many songs are written by men and not written, the female perspective is not included in songs. And the song that I've released today is called This Building is Condemned. And it really is the story of how it feels to be, or how it can feel sometimes to be a postmenopausal woman, told from the story of a condemned building. So
Okay.
I would send that because I think it's important that we get all of the information about this species that's on the ground and how they can feel about the life changes that face us all.
Brilliant. I love that. Thank you so much for doing your fantasy cultural year with me. I hope
Thank you very
enjoyed
much. It's
it.
been amazing. Now I
It's-
just don't understand where's the waiter with my elderflower pressing.
Now we've got another little game to play if you've got time.
Of course, always.
It's called the this or that game. I'm going to give you two options and you have to choose one.
Okay.
Fast-paced, instinctive. Are you
Okay.
ready?
Yes.
Sparkling or still?
Still.
Mac or PC?
Mac.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Radio or television?
Telly.
Heels or trainers?
Trainers.
Peas or sprouts?
Peas.
Call them or text them?
Text.
Window or aisle?
Window.
Milk or dark?
Dark.
Car or motorcycle?
Oof. Car.
Boiled or fried egg?
Boiled.
Comedy or horror?
Comedy.
Concert hall or sports stadium?
Concert hall.
Cat or dog?
Cat. Oh, my cat.
Test the water or dive in at the deep end?
Dive in.
Excellent. Orange juice.
Obviously.
Yes. Orange juice, bits or no bits?
Oh, bits. Definitely bits.
An hour in an art gallery or an hour in a museum?
Art gallery.
Shower or bath?
Ooh, bath. Both bath.
Beethoven or Mozart?
Beethoven.
Cooking or being cooked for?
Cooking.
Fiction or non-fiction?
Non-fiction.
Sand or snow?
Sand.
Shopping online or in store?
In-store.
Reggae or salsa?
Reggae.
Indoors or outdoors?
Outdoors.
Android or iPhone?
iPhone.
Start immediately or wait until the last minute?
Start immediately.
Science or history?
Science.
New York or LA?
New York.
Early morning or late at night?
Early morning.
Messy desk or tidy desk?
I prefer what I have now. Messy.
Red or white?
Red.
Numbers or words?
Words.
Rare or well done?
Rare.
Mild or spicy?
Spicy.
Bedroom door, open or closed?
Open.
And finally, see the future or change the past?
See the future.
Perfect. That was good fun. Thank you
That
very
was
much.
very fun. Now I want to do more to you. When does someone interview you for this thing?
Nobody's ever done this for me.
Okay, so let's arrange it. I will interview. Give me the script and I'll interview you, and I'll change some things so that you're surprised.
I think we'll have to, yes, we would have to change the this or that game, certainly.
I can do a new this or that game just
Would
for
be
you.
good fun. Yeah.
And I can also change slightly the parameters of the scenario so that you're not too prepared.
That would be great. Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
We could just do Desert Island Discs.
We could.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I already know what those are for me. You know, like they do on Radio 4.
I do know like they do on
Yeah.
Radio 4. It would be nice for someone to interview you.
I would love that. So yes, let's do that. That would
Let's
be
definitely do that. It would be my honor to do that. And I feel like, it's like full circle because I was around and in your life when ATN was created. And so it would be a nice thing to do. And also it'd be hilarious.
That would be hilarious.
Which is an added bonus.
Tricia, please don't rush off, but thank you so much for doing this. Thank you again for being one of our full members. Wherever this appears, there'll be links to you and all of the work that you're doing. So I just wanted to say thank you for being such a good sport. And yes, let's turn the tables and you can interview me.
Thank you very much. It was really fun.